Good evening, I'm Nancy Dodge from YB Stamp and welcome to my mystery card class. I have this the first Sunday of every month at 7 p.m. on my YouTube channel. I post the list of supplies at least a week ahead, but sometimes more than a week ahead. And a little hint, tonight's class is not a card. Anyway, welcome, glad you could join me. I hope you've had a chance to gather your supplies. They were pretty simple this week. Excuse me, I have a cough drop in my mouth. I have a dry throat. Allergies are really bad this time of year. Hey Carol, hey Carolyn. Glad you could join me. Alright, are you ready for clue number 1? Alright, clue number 1 is to score your cardstock 1 inch on all sides. So I'm going to put my move over so you can see my little... Hey Joan, welcome. Alright, so I have my cardstock and I'm going to put it on the 1 inch line, and I got to make sure that I remember to use the score line and not the cutter. So here we go. 1 inch, turn it. 1 inch, turn it. 1 inch, turn it. And the last side, 1 inch. Alright, I'll give you guys a chance to catch up because I'm going to do 2. I don't know why. I just felt like cutting 2. I couldn't decide. So I'm just going to quickly do 1 inch all the way around. Just remember to use your scoring blade and not your cutting blade, because then you'd have to cut another piece of cardstock. Alright. There we go. So now I'm all caught up. Alright. Hope you guys have had a chance to do that. Here is clue number 3. On your designer series paper, do 3 13/16, or that's the size of the paper. We're going to do 3/4 of an inch on all sides. So I've got my designer series paper. Now be careful when you do the designer series paper. I only go up once because it's a lot thinner and I don't want it to cut all the way through. I just want to score it. So I'm just going to do 3/4 of an inch all the way around. Remember not to press too hard. One more. Alright, and if you didn't get enough of that, I'm going to do it again. I liked this little paper with the dog bones on it. I thought it was cute. A little dog collar. And a dish, the little paw prints. Alright, let's see, 3/4 of an inch. Is that it? Nope, I got one more. Alright, I hope you guys have all had a chance to do that. Now we're going to go on to clue number 3. So I told you to get some dies. And if you don't have dies, that's okay. I will show you how to, that's one of the reasons that I did too. I will show you how that you can do that without having any dies. So I'm using the Countryside Corner dies. Oh, I spelled rectangle wrong. Anyway. And I'm going to cut out the middle section of my designer series paper with the smallest one. So here's my designer series paper, and here's my smallest die, and I have my mini Stampin Cut Emboss Machine, and I'm going to put this paper, it just fits in here, but it doesn't matter left or right because you want to go in the middle. So I mean, if you want to get precise, You could put it on like so. I have this lined glass mat under here, and I could use some masking tape to stick it on. But you know what? It doesn't really matter too much. So there's the smallest one. I'm going to gently put this down and run it through the machine. So now I have a hole. Now, if you don't have the dies, I'm going to show you just with scissors, because not everybody has a Stamp Cut Emboss Machine. So I have my little snips here, and I'm just going to take a straight edge. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to, well, I was going to take my pencil, my top fell off. All right. And I'm going to cut about an inch out of the middle. So since I know this is almost 4 inches, I'm going to go 1.5 inches in. I guess 1.5 inches-ish. Where's 1.5 inches? And I'm going to draw a line. And then I'm going to do it on the other side too. Let me see, where did I do it? I think that's about 1.5 inches-ish. And then it's a little bigger, but it's okay. And then I'm just going to square it off about 1.5 inches in. And the same on the other side. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. It's not, doesn't have to be precise. So now I have a square in the middle, and I'm just going to take my snips and cut them. What are the dimensions of the small rectangle we're supposed to have? It doesn't necessarily matter. So these are the dies that I have. These are the country dies. So one is just slightly bigger than the other. So if you have like the stitched rectangles, or the deckled rectangles, or anything in this shape, as you can see, I was doing it with different die sets so that one is bigger and one is smaller. Does that help? I hope. Alright, I'm just going to quickly cut this out. Now I could use my trimmer if I wanted to be real precise, but I'm just going to quickly cut this out on the line that I drew. Of course, it's much quicker with the die, but I didn't want you to feel like, uh-oh, I don't have the embossing machine and dies, and I can't make this. Because you can. I may have cut this a little too big, but that's okay. You'll get the idea. So there's my new hole. So that's what the two different holes look like. Use the smallest deckled rectangle. Exactly, Carol. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Alrighty. Clue number 4. On the short sides of the cardstock and DSP, cut scored line to next scored line. Alright, you ready for that? I'm going to start. So it might be easier if you folded them just a little, on the score line so that you can see them. I found that the cardstock was easy to see, but the DSP was not. All right, so what you're going to do is cut the scored line to the next scored line, and I'm going to miter it a bit. So on the short side, I'm going to cut down here, and then I'm going to do another snip right up to that line. Can you see the little space I have? I mitered it just a tad. Let me put the red underneath and you'll be able to see it better. Can you see that? And I mitered it on the left side. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing on this corner. And then miter it just a little bit. If it lets me. There we go. And then the other side. Right up to that score line. And then just to miter it a little bit. Right up to the score line. And miter it just a little bit. And if you do it a little too much, it doesn't really matter. All right, I'm going to just quickly do this other one. All right. So right up to this. Oh, look. You know, I did do that. And then miter it just a little. Cut, miter, cut, miter. Am I making sense, everybody? I hope so. So that's the DSP. See, just a bunch of little bits that are left. I'll put that in the trash. And then I have my cardstock. And I'm just going to cut it, same thing, cut the score line and then miter it a little bit on that outside piece on the two short sides. Right up to the score line and miter it a smidge. It doesn't have to be perfect. It'll still be absolutely adorable and nobody will ever know if you messed up. Alright, one more. That's just because I'm doing, whoops, almost made a mistake. Gotta do the short sides. I suppose I could fix it if I accidentally did the long sides. I would just have to miter a different piece. But I like fussy cutting, so this doesn't bother me. But it doesn't take long anyway. Alright. So now I have all my mitered pieces. Alright, we can go on to clue number 5. Alright. Using the smallest and the next smallest, so I showed you the two dies that I was using. So whether it's this set or another set, we're going to center the two pieces together on the scrap cardstock, and I think it was 1.5 by 3.5 or something like that, and run it through the Stampin Cut Emboss Machine at the same time. You'll end up with a small, there was an F there, frame. Keep the cutout section. Okay, so I'm going to stick these aside. And I have this piece that might be too small now because I cut it. But that's okay, I'll fiddle with it. And I have my two dies. So just center that middle one as best you can. So you're basically cutting out a frame. Like, whoop, you can't see that, can you? Just like that. Alrighty. Put it down so it doesn't move. Run it through. Alright. And this is what I have. The little frame. And that's what you want to stick aside. And save your piece. Alright. So this one, I'm going to take the piece that I cut out. And it's a little too small. Let me see what I got. Looking in my bin of scraps. Do you guys have one of these? I think that's too small. What other colors are in there? Any browns? I don't know. That piece looks big enough. Well, that was sheer luck, huh? Alright. So I'm just going to take this piece that I cut out and I'm going to trace it in the center it and then trace it. And then so you can see the line that I drew. Now cardstock's not as pliable, so I'm going to use my trimmer for this. And all you do is put this about, like, line up your line in your gully there, my gully, and put the trimmer down, and you can see, you can't see it, but so right here you can line up with the line, and that's where you're going to stop and go all the way up here to the line and stop. We're going to do that again. I always start in the middle because it's easier to go back and forth than try to land right on that line. And again. Right down to that line and up. And the last one down to that line and up. There. So we've made it. We've made a frame. Sounded like ripped, but I guess not. That's good. Okay. So I have my frames. That's clue number 5. Were we not supposed to cut the little scrap of cardstock with the 2 rectangles? Yeah, that's exactly what I did here. So it comes out like that. This was the piece. And then 1 rectangle at the same time cut out that rectangle. Hopefully you got that. Alright. Let's go on to clue number 6. Using multi-purpose glue, that was on the list. And I want you to adhere the frame over the opening on your DSP. So this is the same glue I'm using. I'm just happen to use it in one of these because I can get a thinner line. So I'm going to take my designer series paper, and I figured the best thing to do is to actually go right around the edge, just the edge of the designer series paper, as opposed to trying to put it on the frame. And I'll show you what I did. Can you see the glue? Not so much on this one. And then put the frame right over it. And you can, the good thing about the glue is you can move it around to get it exactly where you want it. Just hold it a minute. I'll put that aside and I'll do this one. I really did cut this opening too big, but you get the idea of how to do it if you don't have a die set and a little die cut machine. So looks a little bigger than I had, but I can trim that. It's not as precise when you do it on your own. That's okay. That's what snips are for. Right? Just cut that right out. And it's no worse for the wear. It's not too bad. It stuck to me, but it's alright. I'll get the bulk of it out of the way. Alright. So that's clue number 6. We're getting close. Clue number 7. Excuse me. Fold all your score lines on the cardstock and DSP. So I'm going to get out my bone folder if I knew where it was. And I don't. I used it for a workshop the other day. So I'm just going to use a pen marker and fold over all the pieces. Works pretty good if you don't have a bone folder. See? We're all kinds of adaptive tonight. Alright. This one. All 4 sides on both pieces. You might be saying to yourself, hey, this is starting to look like a box. It is starting to look like a box. But it's a special box. So I said it's not a card. I like to mix things up a little. You know, we all have cards. And I think I folded this one over already, but I guess I'll do it again. Alright. So that's clue number 7. We're getting there. We only have 2 clues left. Alright. Wait a second. Did I miss something? I did. Sorry. There were 2 parts of clue number 7. Add adhesive of choice to outer flap sections on both cardstocks. Okay. So I'm going to use Stampin' Seal. And I'm just putting it on these, whoops, you can't see me, haha. I'm just putting it on these little, this little flap right here on the 4 corners. Okay, and that's on the outside, not underneath, on the top. And then you're going to stick them in and adhere it. Whoops, went in too far. So it'll look like that. And then these, stick them in. Kind of line it up as best you can on the corner. So it'll look like this. Alright, I'm going to quickly do this one while you're working on that. And we're going to also do this on the cardstock bottom. And we're doing it, remember, flip it over. Alright, so there are two pieces. So this one, I'll flip it over. And it's on the outside of these four little corners that you're going to add your adhesive of choice. Some people like glue dots, some people like glue. I'm a Stampin' Seal girl. Okay. Stick it, fold them in, and stick it. And I'm going to do my little blue one outside. Remember, flip it over and add your adhesive. Joan's going to watch the replay. Good, Joan. I'm glad you joined us. I thought this would be just a cute little... Once you sit and do this, it actually goes real quick. Unless you're cutting like this. Alright, now I have all my box pieces ready. Now we can go to clue number 8. Okay, now, before I tell you clue number 8, because it's going to give the whole thing away, I did not put one of the items on the list because I thought it would tell you what it was. So now it's going to give it away with clue number 8. Cut a rectangle in the plastic on the flat side of a pack of travel tissues. Put inside cardstock section, cover with DSP, and pull tissues up. So see, that's why. So I have my little travel pack of tissues. You guys probably have some in the house, and if not, I just got these at the dollar store actually. I think it was 3 packs for $1. My husband bought them for me. So just cut a little rectangle in the cover. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be. And look at that, fits just perfect right in there. And I'm going to cut this other one. And I did find that the Kleenex brand tissues, I'm not endorsing Kleenex, but they did seem to work a little better than the no-name brand that my husband also bought. Alright, see, it fits right in there. Alright. And then put the covers on. It should fit just right. Famous last words, right? And then pull the tissues up a little. Of course, this is going to be stubborn on me. There we go. Came out all the way. Let's try that play again. There we go. Put the cover on. So I'm sorry that I left one item out, but I knew that it would give it away if I did that. And then just pull them up. There you go. Alright, that's clue number 8. Crap, I cut my DSP way too small. No, it should still come up, even in a small hole. I find that if you pull one tissue out, it comes up easier, Carol. So it should be okay. I'll show you because I have a smaller one. But anyway, okay. Clue number 9. Stamp sentiment on the banner, which is the small piece that you cut out of the hole. So I have my little small pieces Whoops, I forgot to put my tip on the glue. And let's see. I lost it. Oh, it's blue. That's why I can't find it. And red. So that's a little, I don't know. It's dark. I could use another little piece. I think I'm just going to quickly cut a piece of white out of here because it's too dark for... I should have thought about it better on the cardstock color I did, but I'm just going to quick color, cut these out of white so that I can stamp it. The entire piece is too small. Oh, sorry about that, Carol. I feel bad now. I wonder if you can get your little piece up and just cut the next size up, and you could probably get it right out of your because it's too small. If you cut another, like a bigger piece of this frame, then you can just kind of trim your DSP and put the bigger frame over it. Like when you saw me cut this, do that. Alright, so I'm going to use white and red. And if you saw my post on Facebook, I circled the wishing you comfort to give you a hint. So, alright. I think it just fits on here. It just fit. So I stamped that in boho blue. And I'm just going to quickly clean this and do the next one in black. So not much stamping, more creating than anything else. Then I've got my memento. Wishing you comfort. Isn't this a cute little something to give people? Alright, and then I have a little hole puncher. And I'm just going to punch a hole in each of these so that I can, I have two different ribbons, and I'm just going to wrap this up a little like a gift on the side. And you could do it anyway. I mean, you could do it the long way if you want. That's why there's 20 inches, so that you can do it as you think it would be best. Straighten out my ribbon. And I'm just going to tie a little knot to hold this so that when I put my tag on, whoops, you probably can't see it. I'm out of the picture, aren't I? So I'm just tying a knot. I'm going to put my little tag through here, tie a bow. I mean, think of how many people are sick. Isn't this a perfect way to let them know that, hoping you're feeling better? Isn't that adorable? Ah, hi Lois. Alright, so yeah, isn't that cute? Now, you know, someone's sad or having a rough time. There you go. And then this one's a little thicker. So I'm going to tie it on this way. And it just kind of holds the two pieces together so that they don't fall apart when they go to pull a tissue out. But, I mean, isn't this a cute way to just let someone know you're thinking of them? And you could do anything. You know, it could be a happy occasion. Or, sorry your allergies are bothering you. Alright. Yeah, I just thought this was really cute. Just tie a little bow on it. Now I have not put bows on a couple others, but I wanted to show you some different covers. So there are the two that we did just now. Aren't they? They're just, I love them. I think they're so cute. This is the first one that I did. I mean, you could cut that plastic bigger so that you don't see it. So you see it in that one, but I cut it so that you can't see it on that one. And then here I cut using the, I think this was Scallop Contours, the smallest and the next up. And then I did this one with Something Fancy. So this one was really thin. So you just basically need two dies that are different sizes from each other. And then the last one I did, I thought this would be really good for my daughter's wedding because everybody always cries. So I thought I would do something like this. To leave, I just did black, and then this is the gold flowers. I thought that would be really cute for the wedding. I wanted you to see these pieces, so that's why I didn't put any ribbons on them. So here are the 6 that I've done. 2 with the ribbons on it. Ta-da! There you go. All right. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I would love to see pictures of your little tissue holders because they're just absolutely adorable. So put it in the comments on, I'm going to post a picture shortly with the picture of these 6 little tissue holders, and in the comments post yours because I love seeing them. Anyway, next week we are back to basics, and I'm going to show you a product that is an easy way for someone to start card making. Now, if you're not a card maker, this is still an ideal product for you, but it's in the upcoming 2024-2025 catalog that goes live on May 1st. So, but next Sunday you'll get a sneak peek. So until then, happy stamping.